Hello and welcome to day 37 of 73. And today I wanted to talk about control. I understand that there are a lot of ways in which one can be able to speak about the idea of having control, or at least being able to chunk down something big to smaller actions that you feel you have more of, I would say, an understanding or strength to be able to put forth. What I mean by that is, I'm sure you've heard people tell you you eat an elephant one bite at a time, and the bite is supposed to be the manageable, smaller version of what this bigger thing needs to be. Or you'll hear people talking about, if you're about to build a house, you're going to do it one brick at a time. That's fantastic. That's great. But one thing that I have found being so profound in this journey that I have decided to take is how easy it is to not take that bite or to not actually lay that brick. And I feel like I never gave enough attention to what that means when it comes to one wanting to change their own narrative, I would say. And the reason why I'm thinking about this is because, as usual, most of my daily struggle, or I'd say opportunities for growth, would come through me having to deal with my 4 year old. And my wife and I, we bounce ideas off each other, trying to become the best parents that we can be in this day and age. And it's not always easy. A lot of the time, we're having to fight our own personal traumas or our own personal demons, either growing up or things that we still have to face as adults. But one thing that I have found quite rewarding is when it does come to times when I see myself for either falling back to a behavior or falling back into a thought that feels extremely comfortable for me but doesn't necessarily help the situation, and taking that step to now choose the complete 180 of whatever that situation might be. So for example, I've talked before about the evenings with my son being rather challenging, and then having to speak to my wife, who ultimately gave me the insight of doing the exact opposite, or not matching his frustration or energy in a way that also seems counterintuitive to me, because hey, I'm feeling pissed. I also want to be able to express my emotions, but for the grander scheme of things, he is the younger person here who's trying to figure out his controls. And ultimately, even though I may not like it or it might feel unfamiliar to me, the control has to be in me being able to see what it is that I'm doing, or the behavior pattern that I'm falling into, and choosing the direct opposite, as unnatural as that might feel, and to see what the result would be. Naturally, in more recent examples, I've been able to not only see what kind of behavior that I'm leaning into that would be unfavorable to the situation, but then being very intentional about going to the thing that doesn't feel as natural to me, whether that's cracking a joke or whether that's lowering the level of anxiety or tension in that particular interaction to a point where, as much as it might seem foreign to me at that time, it does naturally bring more of a positive interaction overall between the two of us. And why I wanted to talk about control is that in this journey as well, I found parallels where I would see myself either feel inclined to either not follow through with the day, or to maybe think about going back, certainly. But it's within those particular shifts, within that moment where you now are about to take the bite of the elephant, or you are about to lay the brick down, that you understand where your strength lies. It is in that, what some people in quantum call the 0 point. I can't go into that right now because I'm about to run out of time. But it is essentially understanding that you have that control, and it's all those small pieces being put together that ultimately get you to a stage where you don't recognize yourself after some time. So, thank you for your time.